Reaksyon sa posibilidad na hindi na palawigin o extend ang nag-expire na state of calamity dahil po sa COVID-19 sa bansa at iba pong usaping pang-ekonomiya ang ating pong tatalakayin kasama si Sir Joey Concepcion, Go Negosyo Founder at Private Sector Advisor Council Lead for Jobs. Sir Joey, magandang araw po sa inyo. Si Diane Kerer po ito.
Good morning, Dan.
Sir Joey, sinabi po ng Department of Health o DOH na nag-aalangan po si Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. na palawigin pa ang state of calamity dahil sa COVID-19 sa Pilipinas. Ano po ang masasabi po ninyo rito, Sir Joey?
No, I totally agree with the President. No? Sa tingin ko dito, hindi na kailangan i-extend yung state of calamity. Yung kahapon, na-report ng DOH, 33 cases lang ang COVID. No? So, nakikita ko rin dito na medyo panormal na rin at marunong na ang mga tao no, to be able to protect themselves from COVID. Alam na nila ang dapat gawin. And let's give them that choice. No? So, I support the President's move to, there's no need to reinstate it, although there are issues on how we should bring the vaccines kasi yung state of calamity allowed us to have the emergency use authority and the vaccines could be easily brought in. But I'm sure they can find a way on how to bring these vaccines. Dapat gawin ng mga pharma companies ng Moderna and Pfizer is to really already apply for certificate of project registration para mabenta na nila dito ang mga vaccines nila. And they can go to drugstores and people can buy the vaccines. Those who think they need it, they can voluntarily pay for it. So I think we should lessen the amount that we're spending in this pandemic, and devote it more to helping the economy do much better.
Okay. Sir Joey, ano po ang epekto sa pangkahalata sa sektor po ng pagnenegosyo na rin kapag hindi na po classified under state of calamity or emergency po dahil sa COVID-19 ng Pilipinas, sir?
Well, I don't think it will affect at all the economy. No, I think it will even buoy more confidence that the Philippines is definitely safe to visit. No, at kung pupunta tayo sa mga ibang countries within ASEAN, halos normal na lahat at restrictions are being brought down already to really attract more tourists to come to their country. So kalaban tayo dito, we're trying to bring back the tourism sector. No, at talagang yun ang talagang tinamaan dito sa pandemya. So, yes, everything you can see, our growth last 2022 was at quite a record high of 7.6, no? Despite the still lingering effects of the pandemic at that time. No? And that's why 2023, I think I am more optimistic. Tumataas pa rin ang interest rates natin dahil sa Amerika at inflation nandiyan pa rin. Pero this is what has to be done to bring down inflation. So, from the with the health now in control, hindi lang naman ang problema natin yung COVID. Marami pa din ng diseases that have to be also attended to, no? And hopefully our healthcare system will be strengthened. No? So I think we're moving fine, especially with the health side and the economy side. This year will be even much better than 2022.
Sir Joey, pagdating naman po sa usapin ng mga bakuna, ano naman pong mga priority groups ang sa tingin po ninyo, sir, na dapat unahin ng gobyerno kapag dumating na po sa bansa ito pong mga bivalent vaccines, sir?
Well, ang balita ko, they're looking at 1 million bivalent vaccines to arrive. I think baka i-donate yan ng COVAX. So, yung priority, syempre, yung seniors, especially with comorbidities, I think that should be the priority at this point in time. And yung those who are not seniors, I think they can just, ride through this. And we're seeing a lot of people in the past who got COVID. And so they have natural immunity, and that will give some coverage for 3 or 4 months. So I think we're gradually seeing the waning of this variant. And hopefully wala nang papasok dito na mas matinding variant na will go back and surge up with our cases. I'm confident that we're on the right track on the health side, and 1 million vaccines is good enough because we see a lot of people already resisting taking the vacuna. To them, they believe that they're protected already because of their natural immunity. So let's let them choose what they want to do with their own health.
Sir Joey, nabanggit po ninyo ang pagganda ng ekonomiya at inyong optimism sa takbo po ng ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Ano pong epekto naman, sir, nito pong bumabang debt to GDP ratio ng Pilipinas at yung pong paglakas ng piso kontra dolyar sa mga negosyo, partikular po sa mga micro, small, and medium enterprises, Sir Joey?
Well, the entire economy is really nakasalalay dito sa mga MSMEs natin. They're basically 99% of the business groups, if you include them as part of the business or groups. And so 99%, yung mga large corporations, yung mga 1% lang kami dyan. No? So if we want to generate more jobs, we have to help our MSME scale up. At kasama na dito ang partnership namin with the Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Agriculture, and we're pushing heavily on mentorship money and market programs. Nakikita natin sa lahat ng SM, Robinson, Ayala Malls, nandiyan ang Go Negosyo. Talagang really mentoring. Kasama natin dito ang mga big brothers, mga private sector na talagang gusto nilang tumulong dito sa mga MSMEs para at least tumaas ang kita nila, tumaas ang bente nila. At when we see that sector really, they also contribute about 80% of job generation in the Philippines. And ASEAN, the same thing has happened. No? MSMEs are a big contributor to job generation. All we need to do is really provide them with the necessary guidance through mentorship, which is being done right now. Funding is very important, and that's why the banks have to start to lend and allow them to refinance their working capital because of the pandemic. And the entire economy, consumer spending is up. You can see it very well that revenge travel, revenge eating out. So people are moving out, and we're at least seeing, despite all of that mobility increase, COVID cases have been relatively muted, no, and in fact going down. So I think we are doing well, and we will do even much better in this year in 2023. And even on the health side, sa tingin ko, I think the 1 million vaccines, the bivalent vaccines, will be good enough for now. Let's see what happens in the third or fourth quarter if we need more. No?
Tiwala naman po ang gobyerno na unti-unti na po nga babagal ang inflation rate ng Pilipinas pagdating po ng second half ng taon. Ano po ang masasabi po ninyo dito, sir?
Well, gradually we're seeing oil prices go down, the prices of wheat starting to move down, and all the other commodities gradually moving down dahil sa pagtataas dito sa interest rates. So, palagay ko, sometime this year, America will hold back increasing rates, but they just increased by 25 basis points. Maybe in the next quarter, there may be one more increase, and after that, wala na. So, and we are seeing the effects, no? Pero we have still inventory of high prices, but towards this coming quarter, this second quarter, we are starting to see a lowering of prices. So I think consumer spending will still be strong because prices of commodities are going down, and hopefully we continue to push for more growth. People have to expand. At importante kasi dito yung mga foreign travel ni President Marcos. Malaking bagay yan. He's bringing more optimism by being physically there, selling the Philippines is right now open its doors for investors. So we have to bring investors to invest in the Philippines. That's very important. We have to bring people to travel to the Philippines. I just came from Bali, and I'm surprised at the amount of tourists. No? And compared to our beaches versus the beaches in Bali, we have the best beaches in this country. What we need is better airports. No? And I think tourism is a sector that is a potential gold mine for many of our MSMEs. No?
Sir Joey, may connection pa rin po sa issue ng inflation. Ano po ang mga suhestyon o rekomendasyon po ng Private Sector Advisory Council kung paano po natin pwedeng ma-manage po ang tumataas na presyo ng bilihin na hindi naman po maapektuhan ang income o yung kinikita po ng ating mga magsaka, partikular po yung mga agricultural products, sir?
Well, it's a very delicate balance, no? Balancing the interest of the consumer and that of the small entrepreneurs or the mga farmers natin. No? If you allow importation uncontrolled, then syempre consumers will benefit because the prices will go down, which is good also. But the farmers will be compromised. Now, if you overprotect the farmers and allow them to continue producing at high cost and not, bringing technology into that, then of course the prices of our own, whatever we produce, rice, onions, etc., will be always at a very high level. So we have to strike a balance, no? So there has to be some importation, but there has to be definitely a lot of support towards the farmers so that they can scale up, no? And that is where we are working now with government, launching Kapalit Angat Lahat program, focused on micro farmers. No? At dito, ang programa natin is to bring the big brothers, katulad ng Universal Leaf, tobacco, one of the most successful. They have a very good model, si Christian Moller, who's into coconuts. No? So we are looking at launching this Big Brother program pretty soon. And hopefully, complementing, syempre, we will have to import. There is no choice kung may shortage. No? But then we have to protect our farmers and prepare them to be able to compete, no? With all of these eventually products that may be brought into the country, agricultural products. No?
Bilang panghuli na lamang po, Sir Joey, baka may gusto po kayong iparating na mensahe o paalala po sa ating po mga kababayan na manonood po ngayong umaga. Go ahead po.
Well, Diane, importante dito, we are basically close to the end of the first quarter. I think this first quarter of 2023 looks good. With our massive support right now, and President Marcos really helping our MSMEs, no, together with Secretary Pascual, our trip to Japan. We are actually going to thank the Japanese government for funding the AMEN project, no, ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurship Network. It is what we are doing in the Philippines now will be done in the 10 ASEAN countries, and the Japanese government has funded this to help MSMEs not only in the Philippines but in the rest of the ASEAN countries. So the proof of model that what we are doing right now with Go Negosyo and government, DTI, DA, etc., is working. So now all the other 10 countries want to replicate that, and that's why we owe a lot of debt of gratitude to the Japanese government for helping scale this up, not only in the Philippines, but bringing it now in the rest of the ASEAN 10 countries.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Joey Concepcion. Ating po nakapanayam si Go Negosyo Founder at Private Sector Lead for Jobs, Mr. Joey Concepcion. Muli salamat po at mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you, Diane.